So why not starting? That's good to have you here. Thank you very much to doing this kind of small experiment with me here. I started this initiative. Someone mentioned it. Sorry, I forgot. I think it was Rebecca. Rebecca mentioned it to do a meeting like that, and I thought, Rebecca, that's a good idea. I could really use a meeting like that. So you pretty likely know me from the channel and from the emails and all of the other things. So my name is Werner Kunz, and I manage a lot of social media channels of SERVSIG. I thought we can start maybe by doing a small introduction round that you say how to pronounce your name, who you are, and what is the university, which country you are calling in. That's also very interesting. And I would be interested, how much experience do you have with online marketing? I can start up front. Can you hear me? Yeah, there was someone in the back. That's fine. So where did I stop? So I'm from UMass Boston. I said already, from America, Boston, calling in. For now, it's 9 o'clock here. I must admit, I have not much experience with online marketing. Not online marketing I have, but with online classes. So online classes is my first online class this week. I did 3 classes and I have a lot of questions to you guys, and hopefully you can help me. And I try to give my fair share, whatever I can help you with. So that would be good. So maybe do a round. I don't know how, you know what, I call your name. You see, there's so many overwhelming things. I don't know how to organize all of this stuff. So I call your name and then you can introduce you. I think the order of the windows is not everywhere the same. So why not starting with Muslim?
Hi, good morning. Now it's 9 p.m. in Malaysia. I'm working with Taylor University in Malaysia. So this is the first time for me to do online.
Okay, good. Suarez, sorry.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Suresh Paul. You can call me Suresh or Paul. And I teach at the Indian Institute of Management at Tiruchirappalli, which is in the southern part of India. It's almost 7 p.m. in the evening. I have taught online classes, but I have had a lot of issues managing them, especially when there are large numbers. Okay. And especially if you're doing cases or if you're doing a simulation, it's a real struggle to do this, especially with large numbers and the chat option going on, like at heavy speed, at high speed on the sidelines, how to keep track of it. So this is my experience with online. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. And next one on my screen is Virla Yan. Is that right pronounced?
Yeah, so hello everyone. So it's Virayan. I'm from the University of Mauritius. I hope you've heard of Mauritius, small island.
I know a colleague of you.
Ah, I see. Okay. What's his name or her name?
We did a video, Tarusha. Whatever. I made a video of her on the SERVSIG channel. Check it out. That you know whom I know from Mauritius. Okay, good.
Okay, I see. That's great. In fact, we are in complete lockdown since 1 week now. So obviously, university is closed since last week, and we had to transfer all courses online. So I had some previous experience last year with some specific module, but I'm facing obviously a lot of difficulties with especially quantitative modules. So I do teach statistics for managers, one particular module, and I'm finding that quite challenging actually to teach this module online, because obviously I do have course materials, PowerPoint presentation, etc. But for modules such as statistics for managers, I will be having a lot of, normally I would write a lot on the whiteboard, etc. So these are things that are done here. That's an issue. And the second main issue will be regards to assessment, because as the situation evolves, I mean, hopefully it's going to get better, but it's very likely that we won't be having exams, which is supposed to be, well, in Mauritius, it was supposed to be in May, so in 1 month's time. And so the university has already communicated to us that most likely is going to be postponed, and we're not sure actually. So this thing can last for a couple of months, and it might be that we don't we are not able to do exams. But even for continuous assessment, we're supposed to have some class tests normally, and now we are being asked to find alternative ways. So of course we have assignments, but we can't just have like one assignment for the assessment. So I'm looking at the possibility to have quizzes, so MCQs and online quizzes. But yeah, so these are all questions in my mind which I would like to discuss. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that, and that's very, very good. I just want to say about a small thing. I posted again the registration link here. I have a hard time to come up to follow up with all of the things. I thought the registration is quite helpful to know what are your problems and other things. So if you haven't used it so far, just drop the 3-4 lines in it, so we can later work over that kind of list and see what we can solve from all of that. So if something is not on it, so just to have a kind of tool to keep track what we want to talk about. So because you mentioned already some of the issues, and I have all of these issues too, so that's very, very helpful. Christina, small introduction. Where are you?
Hi, Vern and everybody else. I'm here. I'm actually on double meetings, so it's a bit problematic at the moment, but it'll be easier in just a while when the other meeting ends. So I'm actually, so my name is Christina Hein. I'm in Helsinki in Hanken School of Economics. I'm actually not doing that much online teaching at the moment. I'm only tutoring and supervising students most of the time, having seminars in smaller groups. But I am interested in knowing and getting some hints and ideas about how to do that later on as well. We're actually having everything turned online, and on Monday we'll have our first doctoral defense in our subjects, and that will be online. So looking forward to that too. So I guess we're all experiencing a lot of challenges of turning everything online, but at least it's working quite well. So, good luck to everybody.
Thank you. Amir.
Hello, everyone. It's 15 past 1 here in Manchester, UK. And my name is Amir. I'm from Alliance Manchester Business School. I'm a PhD student here. And this morning, I literally delivered my first online lecture. However, it wasn't online as such. It was like a recorded PowerPoint. But we had like an online forum where students could raise their question and ask for more clarification.
Okay. Good. Wonderful. So tell us about that more. Jonas.
Hello. So my name is Jonas. I'm in France. So one of the hotspots of contamination at the moment. So we are in lockdown now for the 10th day. So getting used to it already. I'm at Kedge Business School in Bordeaux, and since we've been already locked down for a while, I've had time to do pretty much everything online. I've done both the teaching and supervising, group works, case studies, doing exams online, so on. So basically, the whole package. I was quite lucky with my courses because most of my courses started in January. They were supposed to end late March, early April. That meant that I had done almost all of my teaching. So I had only a little bit of teaching left to do, but of course, student presentations and exams. And this far, everything has worked really well. Yeah. So I don't have any problems as such. I have no worries with the online teaching, but of course, happy to be in the meeting and sort of share experiences.
That's wonderful. Thank you. We need people like you, definitely. Ati.
Hi, I'm Ati Seni from University of Delhi. I'm placed in India and I'm teaching in Department of Commerce. So as of online teaching, so it's a challenge for us. We have been asked to do that, but we are not trained to take the online teaching. So it's just that we are just making our own material and sharing with the students. And the challenge over here is that we have to learn by self, then we have to, do that thing. So it's so much of time consuming, and we're just trying hard to get in connection with the student. And of course, it's very difficult to get in connection with every student because everybody had different situation at their home. And at this point of time when, we are locked down at home. So we have so many challenges over here. So online teaching is I guess it's a challenge for all of us because university hasn't taken that many initiative that we are actually used to understand like how online teaching takes place. So I think the university should at least teach everyone, like they should be able to take the online classes and lectures.
Wonderful.
So it's a situation of, yeah.
Thank you, Arti. Konstantin.
Yeah, hi, I'm Konstantin. I'm calling from the University of Koblenz-Landau in Germany. I work for the Institute of Management. And yeah, I've got the problem. I'm not very used to online courses at all. So I'm hoping that I get new ideas how we can set up our online courses for the upcoming semester.
Oh, enough time.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Wafa. Oh, your microphone is off. Yeah, now.
Yeah, hello everybody. So my name is Wafa. I'm professor at the University of Namur in Belgium. Actually, I'm attending, I think that all of us, we are experiencing the same problem. So the lockdown, and very rapidly we have been asked actually to teach remotely. So that's why I think it was more about kind of bricolage, you know, to find a way to teach, let's say, online. I'm also lucky because I have finished already my teaching, but the lockdown here in Belgium has been actually extended until late of May. So we are not sure about the evaluation period, whether it will be, actually done remotely or physically. So therefore, we had to think already actually for plan B in case. So that's why I'm very much interested to hear about your experiences. And also from the last interactions that I have with my students. So I'm very much concerned with the experience for students. So, you know, how to make it enjoyable for them. So I think it's gonna be a nice session to put everything together and see what we can do to improve actually that and face that challenge.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So it's great to see a little bit the background. I'm a little bit, we are a global community, so we're in different time zones. We have different kind of semesters. And honestly, I thought, like I said already in the introduction, where other people were not already here, it's like, I need this course now. I need this kind of hour now, because I was informed last week to do this. And I used the spring break, and 1 week free spring break that I used to how I was supposed to do this. And I completely agree with all of these resources, but creating a great online environment is nice to say, but really doing it then and getting technology under control, getting the resources straight and doing it then practically. Wow, that's not easy. You will even see it here. I'm easily overwhelmed. I love to see the gallery view, to see all of your faces. That's very good, but I have a hard time I cannot multitask. I cannot look on the chat at the same time. So, and there are other features. They're really great, but there's different thing to know how it works, to know these features and actually using them. That's the reason why I'm so happy that you guys are here with your experience. My intention and preparation for this meeting was, I made this kind of pre-registration stuff. What I now did is I copied your questions right there. I looked into your face when you introduced. I think that's polite. And that's the reason why I have always a hard time to look somewhere else and read that. So I haven't read them. I read very briefly over it. I'm not the master here. I have 3 days of experience. So let's go a little bit together over it and see what we can contribute. Yeah, I think we are still a manageable size. I don't know what your experience is with that. I find when the microphones are all muted, it takes people very long till they unmute them and then they say something on something else. So if your background is not too noisy, maybe it's a faster way to unmute the phones, but it's all a little bit up to you. Let me go here over the first one and see what we can contribute here. So is there any way and feasible to have group discussions and exercises during the class? I give you what I do, and if other people want to join, that's fine. If you want to go to the next one, what is there? What I have figured out, that's at the moment where I am, and I said I have 3 classes. Zoom, most of you, by the way, who is using Zoom? What kind of the platforms that you're using? So I use Zoom. Who else uses Zoom? Please, hands up. I see them. Okay. Oh, it's less than I thought. 5, 6 are come. So what are the other people using? Blackboard or Skype? Any other?
Yeah, here in the UK we use Blackboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
We use Teams.
Teams? Okay. And Konstantin, you're still looking
We're using Skype for smaller groups.
Yeah.
Currently, yeah.
Okay, good. And another question that might be interesting, because I almost go from myself, sorry for doing this. Zoom looks to be at the moment in America quite dominant, but of course there's a question, how many of you are doing live online teaching, preparing for live online teaching, streaming, or they're thinking about an asynchronous model, means preparing material up front, sending it, and vice versa. So synchronous versus asynchronous. Does it make sense for you guys? So who's doing synchronous? Or a lot, mainly, I know you can mix it. At the moment, I do that alone. Okay, looks, most of you are doing an asynchronous, means preparing material up front?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Actually, if I can just say something here. So, yes, yesterday I did a full lecture, synchronous lecture for 2 hours. And after the 1 hour, 30 minutes, I mean, I think I was speaking alone, to be honest. So for next week, I'm definitely thinking of doing a mixture, having some small videos with specific topics already uploaded, and then having a like 30 minutes tutorial only. So that's my plan for next week. So I'm changing, like trying. I mean, well, I'm on a learning curve as well with regards to online teaching, I suppose. But I think synchronous lectures, I think maybe 1 hour maximum would be would be working, but nothing more. I mean,
yeah.
If I can say something,
yeah.
Werner?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so actually before the lockdown, so I had the experience because I had a visiting professor coming from US and who had to cancel. So therefore, so I was, let's say, testing, so the remote teaching, earlier. And from my experience, again, so just to add to that, so if you have more than like 1 hour teaching, so it's really too much for students. So because I had to, to ask the students about their experience, and most of them they said that it's really very difficult because you don't have interaction. So therefore, for them, it's very difficult to follow, the lecture for more than 1 hour. So that's why, so I switched, to recorded material that you can send, and then you have, let's say, shorter session with the students.
Okay, good.
May I add something, Werner?
It's a nice combination, actually. Right.
Jonas is also not. Jonas, do you want to say something, or was Amir? I don't know.
Yeah, the problem for us here is most of our students, especially undergrads, are international students, mainly from China and India. And now they are back to their countries, and we are living on a different kind of time zones. So it's literally and practically it's not possible for us to have live sessions.
Okay, interesting.
I can add, I had the opposite experience to Amir. Even though I'm in the same situation, I have students from all around the world. They have all gone back. I was teaching 6 hours on a Tuesday, and I was amazed at how engaged they were. I had everything from students in Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea staying up late at night. I had students in Boston, New York up early in the morning. I had even one student in Los Angeles in Zoom from her bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I sort of found them. I mean, of course, almost everybody is, of course, in lockdown. Since this lockdown started, I have the highest class attendance I've ever had, because they all want some activity, want something to do. And same thing, I had around 80 students in a class these 6 hours. I had a group with discussions with each group, so I talked to all 80 in groups of 5 or 6. For the first time in my life, every student said at least something. Every student participated in the discussions. So I found that this has sort of boosted activity, which is quite nice.
Oh, you're very nice students. I'm happy that they get a motivation boost to do it. So I have 40 people in my class, and I don't know if people were thinking, this all came very, like for many of you too, all of a sudden, and I had no chance to warm them up, and that's the reason why I thought at the beginning I do it synchronous. There's definitely possible to do it mixed, and I haven't made my decision how much I go asynchronous. I said already before, some people hybrid material or preparing hybrid material means doing lectures up front and using the Zoom meetings more for conversation. That's at least my plan, because I knew already what I read is like, oh, wow, I cannot talk 1 hour. That's horrible. And just looking in this kind of area, just where your big slides are, people, not valuable at all to do it this way. So I completely share the experience of real life. Maybe a small thing to the first question with the discussion and exercise. There's one feature on Zoom that I personally love, and if you get that working, I did it yesterday evening, or no, yesterday morning, sorry, I have some, not Corona. When you get it working, it's wonderful, and that's our breakout rooms. Now, breakout rooms in Zoom means you need to be signed in, and you can pre-assign people to individual groups like you would do it in a classroom. It's exactly the feature that you need as a teacher, that you say, I have 40 students in my class. And I was surprised that Zoom can handle 40 people, technically. It's a challenge to get people talking with each other, and all the microphones are off, and students are way much more not so engaged like you guys. You came voluntarily here. No one pays you to do this, so you want to talk about that. So you find that if you don't see the button at the bottom, you are now a participant. Maybe you don't see it right now, but even if you are the inviting host at Zoom, you need to go in your account in Zoom that breakout sessions are on. And the second thing, to pre-assign the groups. When I have 40 students, I have 8 teams. It's impossible to do that right on the spot. So it's very important that the students sign in with their free account or something else, whatever you have at the university. Even if they have a free account and you invite them, it's important that you can pre-assign them. And when you pre-assign them, and I make my 8 groups, I have one button and can open rooms. And all of a sudden, everyone goes from 40 people in one group to, let's say in my case, 5 people in one group. And you as a teacher can then, similar like in a classroom, join chit-chat conversation, go to the other team. And every time when I did it, I saw active conversations, and all the microphones were on and all the cameras were on when I was joining. So that's a super helpful tool. Just a practical thing to this. First, it needs to be switched on. Second, the student needs to be signed in. And even if you do it right, at least I haven't figured it out so far, I had only half of the students pre-assigned. So there's still, you need to test it a little bit with the students. Because that's in a way my hope that the Zoom meeting is helpful, that I can split up my group. So breakout groups in Zoom, if you didn't understand it from here at the moment, so Google it. It's really helpful. Let the people first sign in. That's very important, so that can you pre-assign and prepare that. Good. Any other contributions? How to facilitate group discussions, exercises?
Big classes.
How many people you have? 400?
Yes, 400 students.
Oh, wow. I have no experience with that. I wonder if asynchronous might be better. I don't know. Or what kind of interactive element you bring in. What you could do to engage them is doing polling more. It's definitely more prevention, but the advantage with so many people in one class is you can answer a question when you ask a closed question, something like that, or maybe using the chat. But there are polling features there. There's a polling feature in Zoom itself. Again, you need to switch it on in your account. When you go in your account setting and it's not switched on, you don't see the button. But if it is switched on, there will be a button beside you. It's good for a quick poll. You can preset up that, but it's only for closed questions. So it's very quick and very into the system. If you want to do better things, I can look it up. I have another service that is for free. There's some really for paid services, and they're great. So when you think about a keynote speaker at a big conference, and he wants to ask the audience, 200 people at the same time, there are tools out there that help you, that you can get right away the polling results. I think it's, I have another one that I look up after I stop talking, and then I put it in the chat. Any other contributions to how to do it with very big classes?
Yeah, Poll Everywhere is good. They have a free version which works pretty okay. I mean, I've used it in multiple conferences in the conclusion of the conference where we want to get feedback from people. And what it does is it creates a word cloud or something in the real time. So even if you're not asking a close-ended question and it's an open-ended question, you can see in real time what people are talking about. And it can do a lot of different things, very different. So if you want, you can do a word cloud. If you want, you can do like every answer coming in separately, very highly interactive. But then also we are dealing with younger generation. They are very okay with gamified experiences. So Kahoot is another one that you can use, which is very interesting with music and with a lot of animation and stuff like that. So Kahoot can also be used if you are using multiple choice questions or things like that.
Oh, that's good. Faisal, can you put the two links just as a reminder for us in the chat? Just that
Sure.
it's easier for people. I will later distribute the chat, whatever the links and the reminder of all of that. So
sure. Do you want me to put the like web links or just the name of the software?
Whatever. Web link might be easier, so people can click on it.
Okay.
But,
all right. Okay. Sure.
Any other things? So we have here the next question is how to teach calculation methods to students. Any ideas how to do this? I have no idea. I'm happy that I usually skip that. Don't need to do that much.
Again, for calculations, I have never done it. I mean, recently, this week on Tuesday, I was teaching statistics, research methods, but it's like way in the start. So there's not a lot of formulas or stuff. One thing I was doing is I use Microsoft Surface. It comes with a pen. So I was using the pen and then everybody sees whatever I'm doing on my screen. That's one thing. The other one is if you don't have it, then you can buy a graphic pad, which normally is $30 or $40, which maps your laptop screen on a, on a bigger trackpad or something like it. So whatever you do on it, people can see it on the screen. Especially if you're using a Microsoft or Office 365 products like OneNote or something like that. There are cool features which are like ink to shape. So even if you're drawing like a shape with hand, it can convert it into a graphical shape, So that has worked pretty well for me.
Yeah. I need to also highlight, Faizan did a wonderful video, also posted on the SERVSIG Facebook group. And what I learned from you, I was not just aware that it exists. So you can pre-record, you don't need to have much video sources. You can use a normal PowerPoint. I'm not a big fan of doing equation manipulation in PowerPoint. It's quite hard to do this, but you can use, you can pre-record whatever you want to say on every slide. So that will pretty likely take a while to do. You have more experience with that. Nonetheless, it's easy to do. And there's a pen feature too. So I'm a friend of that because to explaining so many people an equation and calculation, let's say perfectly, so that you really can follow, take some preparation, especially if you don't see the faces, don't see if people get it in that moment. So if the attempt is to pre-record it and try it as good as you can, and using a Zoom meeting or other meeting more as, okay, shoot questions to me, or I repeat again with a whiteboard what I did before, that gives people, two ways of making sure that they're on the same page. I don't know, maybe it's an idea, I don't know. Any other thoughts, experiences with complicated?
If I can just add, says Zurian. If I can just add my experience here. So yesterday I had my lecture on data analysis. I did exactly what Faizan just mentioned. So I actually use a Wacom tablet, which is a small device here.
Yeah.
So it works perfectly fine. So I just connected that to my laptop. And so making the use of a function of whiteboard on Zoom. So I just shared a screen, a whiteboard. And so just kind of pretended that was my whiteboard. It's not really the same. The handwriting is not that good, but it's kind of manageable, I would say. Okay. So basically that's what I did. And it worked quite well. It worked quite well, yeah. But again, as I said, so if it gets too long, like 1 hour plus, then maybe it's not the same like a lecture when you can see feedback from students and see whether they are understanding the material, and you just take the pose, explain again. You can't really do that. So possibly using that pre-recorded asynchronous would maybe be the solution. Yeah, so possibly. But yeah, so using a writing pad, or if you have a iPad already, so using your pencil and using a whiteboard function of Zoom could be a solution here for calculations.
Okay. Yeah. Other thoughts? How do you make sure that people understand? I think someone asked that. I cannot see that at the moment. But how do you make sure that people understand to get the kind of? I know in the normal classroom you would get a visual cue. You see the faces. I always pick my problematic students and see if a light goes on. But how to do that online? Any experience with that, or at least tools? It's not the perfect environment for this, but. That's a tough one, right?
Well, if I can just say what I did yesterday actually for my lecture. So I asked the students to just send me a quick message on the chat box. So, and then as soon as I get more students saying yes, they understand, I take it that it's good for everyone, but of course that's not perfect. What I did once or twice as well, just pick one student, ask them a question, just like so the students knew that they might be asked questions, but again, that's not perfect. But that's what I tried to do yesterday.
Okay, let's see what else we have. I think it was already the next one. Sorry, I haven't seen that. How to make eye contact, how to know if you have been understood. That's one way of doing. Does anyone use polls for that, or is it not the right way? I think that's a very important one. So I don't know an answer. What I actually do, although it's not exactly the same, at the moment I have done only 3 classes. I have an exit poll. I have an exit poll because I honestly interested what worked, what didn't work at the moment. And yeah, it's a little bit harsh here and there. And I have not always motivated students who are in my class and doing all of this, but it gives me at least an indicator. I think, I'm not sure, it would pretty likely overwhelming if I really evaluate every individual class. But at the moment, I'm happy for every feedback what I get. And what I have learned even in real-time classes, if you ask people, how was it? People don't like a, that's not the way how to ask the question. So how to phrase it the right way to get this kind of feedback. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Assignment, ebooks, other teaching material. None all is going well is clear. We have tools again. Let me just read very quickly over. Assessment modes, quiz. Moderation, how to interact. Okay, that was for me. Okay, so let's talk about assignments, resources that you have that you think is helpful, or what do you suggest?
So for assignments, I guess pretty much everybody is using a learning management tool from the universities like Canvas or Moodle or Blackboard or whatever. So, I mean, even if you are not teaching online or remotely, most of the assignments were given online. So that is what we should continue. If some people have issues with that, then I think cloud-based services are good. You can simply use OneDrive or Google Drive or something like this, which can put your assignment and let the students also submit it within that drive. Okay, wow. Somebody is really happy.
No, that's absolutely normal.
So yeah, one way of doing it is if you don't have a lot of resources, or if you have issues accessing the system from your computer, from your university, you can create a shared folder with your students and then let them submit their assignments to that folder. That way everybody will have access to those assignments.
Yeah, for assignment, like I find best is Google Classroom. So I get linked with my students through their email IDs, and I give them a code by which they join the classroom. And I share my assignments. I can even mark them on that assignment, on that platform. So they will be updated like how much marks I have given to them. And if I want to share any of my notes, this is what I'm doing these days, and I'm making my notes and I'm sharing with them. So it is an easy platform. I guess that is the best thing, and there is no limitation. You can make groups You can even give tests on Google Classroom, and you can schedule a time, and then the students are then the students take up the test, then you can probably mark them. So don't need to make a separate like paper work for assigning a mark. So everything will be there on your Google Classroom platform. So I found it the best tool as of now.
Yeah. I'm also a big supporter of Google Classroom. I'm happy that I implemented it already up front. I'm a big hater of Blackboard, the big monopolist here in America, who always sends one contact more after another. That's economy. It has nothing to do with performance. And the Google Classroom is really good. Everything that comes from Google. There might be some rival models, but as Google, it's just easy. What I learned in my university, Google, and when you start a Google Classroom and you don't have already the blessing from the university, usually they say it's not allowed in university environment except the IT department has set it up. And my IT department is super slow. And now I will bring it even more recommendations, like, oh yeah, in 2 months we can do it because of Corona stress or something else. So that's something that I want to not warn you, but that can be an obstacle because Google Classroom is as easy as everything else. So within half a day, students can be signed up and everything can run. But you can run in problems when you do it, let's say, rogue, not with the university, then the email addresses can be a problem, what they are signing in. So just want to not warn you, it's a great platform, but this kind of obstacle can be there, especially if you're in a situation like me and you need to jump into something very, very quickly and you need a platform that works. I was not even capable to share a good file on Blackboard. So it's like, that's not the platform for me.
Another platform that you can look into is Microsoft Teams. They have really improved it a lot. I used it into a couple of meetings this last week, and it's very good. The benefit of Microsoft Teams and Google Classroom is that they've integrated their own document management into it. So if, let's say, you're using Google Classroom, you have access to Google Docs or Google Forms or Google Sheet or stuff like that. Microsoft Team also integrated the entire 365 suite into Microsoft Teams, so you can easily work on collaborative work on Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or whatever. So that's the benefit there.
Okay. I have, before we go more about ideas and tools and whatever you have in the inventory, it was one of the questions. I have more a question from how to do stuff. Seriously, you see how I moderate this thing, and up to say 12 people, I'm kind of okay, and you are motivated to be here. But how do you moderate live sessions in Zoom with a lot of students where the motivation is not always super high, and how to spark also interaction? I think that's a big challenge for me right now. I tell them, put this microphone on, you can shoot out right away. If with 40 people, not everyone talks at the same time, what anyhow will not happen. I'm happy for everything to make it a better environment. So how do you get them to participate, have interaction, discussion for what Zoom is there, or these kind of live streaming sessions? And how to moderate that? I have a hard time even following here the chat at the same time.
In my case, Werner, I did for these sessions this week, and of course I realized this is not feasible for all sessions. But for the sessions this week, I split them into smaller groups than they would have been otherwise. So I spoke less with each student, I guess, that I would have in class. On the other hand, when I spoke, it was always with 5 or 6, meaning we had a closer interaction. So I hope my impression today was that, this week, I mean, my impression was that the sort of quality of the interaction we had in smaller groups made up for the fact that they had less time than they would have had. But of course, I still had a manageable group where I could really spend like 15 minutes with each group of 5. With a very big group, like Muslim mentioned, with I think it was with was it Muslim or Amir who had 400 in that case, yeah, exactly. I thought so. In that case, I really cannot see how it's possible.
Okay, understand.
Thank you.
One way I have seen where participation, in live participation, you could do some cold calling, and also to ensure whether they have understood, you could ask one of them to rephrase whatever you have said and explain what they have understood to the rest of the class.
Yeah. Cold calling reminds me on the other term what I read, that's warm calling. So similar like not maybe you don't do it in a classroom, but you can, of course, write people an email before the class and say, you know, I want to cold call you. I want to ask you, you know, need to know your students a little bit, but some people don't take it cross, and then they know that they're needed. I think that's a big challenge in direct teaching. When you read stuff, you hear that all the time. You have the speakers and you have the quiet people, and I think also the unmotivated people. Not all quiet people are unmotivated, but there are people in it, and how to get really an environment going. It's not easy. Any other tips for moderation or interaction that you came up with and think, oh yeah, that works for me relatively well? Not more. That's the toughest one. We need to have a second meeting. We need to have another meeting. Now we go with all the resources that we have. Is there anything that you have learned from a technique or a tool that you say, that's really valuable? That's one of my secret weapons, and we haven't used them or we haven't mentioned them so far in this kind of chat or meeting. Nothing?
Well, yes, I mean, for the exams, because I had exams also Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, going online exams that were planned to be in a class with no support, just sort of study. Of course, it was a challenge transforming them into online exams.
Yeah.
So just if I can quickly share that experience, what I did, instead of having this exam where I would have asked them about some of the main theories from the course, of course I couldn't do that because I assumed they would of course have the option to check out everything. So instead I developed two essay style questions. I gave them the article that you did Werner with Bart and Arne and Nancy and others, Service Encounter 2.0. I gave them that article to read also for the exam. Since this was in the luxury course, I asked them to develop in their own words, in like 2,000, 3,000 words, develop multi-actor interactions in a luxury setting, something I know that is not yet published, so they couldn't find it. And then what I used was Urkund. So I had them all submit to me through Urkund, sort of check that they don't cooperate and check that they don't plagiarize. And it seems to have worked pretty decently.
Oh, that's a really cool idea. Love that. Any other things, tools that you are interested in and you think that's quite helpful?
Just one thing, probably today or tomorrow, I'll upload another video on my YouTube. I'll share with everybody on SERVSIG, because many people were thinking to, conduct exams in class. Now it has to go online. Just to explain how you can take your multiple choice questions that you designed on Microsoft Word and directly put them into Canvas or Blackboard, because there's no way to do it directly. You can't do it directly, like you cannot like import or whatever. There's a side trick that you can do. So I'll make a video and upload it, and I'll share it with everybody today or tomorrow.
Okay. I had another tool that I'm using. One thing that I think is important too, I might be more a visual guy, but for me, it's important that you can look people in the eye if that's possible. I know with 400 people, it's impossible. With my 40 people, it's barely possible because I have a second screen. So I need to switch. I can only concentrate on 25 people. What I find irritating is in Zoom, yes, you can share screens. But in the moment you share screens, all of the other windows going away, and they are relatively small. So in a way, I talk to a screen. And I cannot do it long. I think that's one of the learnings already. Don't do it too long. I think for a short time, it's kind of good. But you could use a tool like ManyCam. And ManyCam is really cool. I hope I should have preset it up. Maybe I can give you a link for that. The idea, sorry, it's not preset up and it will take too long. the idea is having a virtual webcam. What you can do then is similar like in TV. You see how my setup of my webcam is. So I'm sitting here, sitting on the right, on the left side, on this side I sit. Here's space. What you can do with ManyCam, you can put slides there. The reason why that is good, I know the features exist in Zoom, but the good thing is I can still have the gallery view on. I see all of you guys. Can explain you something, can bring something in, a slide that is big enough, where I say that was the thing that I want, or these and that. It doesn't work everywhere. So browsing on a browser, your window will be too small for that. But I fear a lot when I'm in an online session to lose the contact. To lose the contact to the students, there's a small break, there's technically something to do, and all of a sudden people decide I go pee or I go to switch off or something like this. So this is maybe an opportunity to prevent what you usually need to do in Zoom, sharing an entire screen. It also helps you to not showing the entire desktop. What is the disadvantage in Skype that you only can share an entire desktop? You can share one window alone. I know it works in Zoom, but it then zooms up everything. So ManyCam, I put you a link in it. It just looks nicer, but it's not the most important one. I think more important is the pedagogy that you're using and that people trust you, but just that's a small recommendation from my side. Okay, any other resources, hidden things? Let me see what we have here. We have Zoom, we have Google Classroom, ManyCam. Oh, I wrote it, yeah. ManyCam, I wrote it over here.
So, well, I just wanted to add, since we were speaking about Google Classroom, it might be a good idea to use Google Meet as well. I've used Google Meet today for a meeting, not use it for a lecture yet, but it's working perfectly fine. And I think Google Meet is easier for students to use in the sense that you don't need to install anything like they would have to do for Zoom. And the nice thing is that Google Meet is already like a kind of integrated with Google. So if you're using Google Classroom, you can actually easily schedule your class on Google Classroom, and you just have to include the link for the Google Meet session, and students just click on that and they join the class. It seems to be working well. So Google Meet might be a good option instead of Zoom for the video online, the online.
What is Google Meet? I know Google has a hard time with all of these kind of different social media and especially communication tools. Is it something else? Duo?
Oh, yeah, it's actually working perfectly fine. It's just like Zoom and Skype. So it was, I think, previously called Google Hangout, but now they call it Google Meet. And
okay.
Yeah. So I've just actually sent a link. You will see a link. That's a YouTube video. Actually, that's a very good channel. Flip the Classroom. I find it one of the best actually regarding online teaching. After that of Faizan, of course. Yeah. So yeah. So Google Meet might be a good option actually. So especially for those who are using Google Classroom, I would say.
Just one thing to add here. Yeah, right now I'm also attending another meeting, which is on Google Meet. It's similar stuff. So Google Meet is really amazing. It's an extension of Google Hangout. Just one thing to remember that in normal days, you can only invite 10 people on Google Meet. But these days, Google has made it available free. Even the pro version, so you can invite, I guess they say as many as possible, but if you go beyond 40 to 45, then there's issues with it.
Okay, any other questions, thoughts, things that you had in mind that we haven't talked about? I'm sure we have a lot of things still open. So any other resources? If not, I'm thanking you a lot. I know rhetorically, if you ask a question like that, you're shutting down already the meeting. That was not my intention, but it looks like I learned a lot here and a lot of resources. That's really cool. I just posted what I got from you guys from the forum. So it's just in the chat, and I will share the chat afterwards. I promised to invite you via email, but I realized that Doddle is only the pro version has an email function. So I hope the people who participated in the poll get at least one notification when it was. By the way, did you get it? I don't know. Jonas was participating in in the poll, right? You get a poll.
I did not get any notification from the poll. No, the only thing I got was through the Facebook SERVSIG.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It's like I thought when I do polls on Doddle that at least the people who participated get a notification. I could not send them email, and not everyone gave me an email. And when I do, then that's a pro feature of Doddle, and I don't do.
I got it from the poll.
Oh, you got it from the poll? Okay, that's good.
Yes.
So that at least worked. I could not send a second message, but I could send it once when the decision was made. Good. Yeah, so I share these resources. I will share also this video with you. It needs to be a little bit rendered down. That's good. Let's stay in contact. If you want to do that again, that would be great. I got some feedback, especially from the Australian guys. And they said, oh, that's impossible. But I looked really on the world map, and it's like, okay, from Arizona to Sydney, 9 o'clock in the morning for me, it needs to be. There's almost no other chance. And you need to be willing in Australia to stay up late. It's impossible. So I think I'm very encouraged to do that again next week, more for European Australian time. I need to figure out when exactly, and if the old poll helps me here. Just to share that if you want to join again, that's good. For me, it really like it means to stand up till in the night or so the Australian can nicely go in the afternoon with a cup of coffee and doing a Zoom meeting. We'll see what that actually means. I keep you in the loop for that. Let me know if you want to add any other additional resources. Shoot me that, and I try to prepare that here for you guys, but also for the bigger community. I think that's quite great. Any other ideas how we can continue doing things like that? I think for some people, especially me, I need it right now. I need right now all of the ideas very quickly so that I can finish my semester in dignity. If there's not more idea, I'm sucking all the energy out of you. So thank you very much for participating. And yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Werner. Thank you.
By the way, Werner, thank you. You know, I'm very happy to be in this meeting.
Okay, thank you for your contribution. You have so many great ideas, and you're far ahead of us with all of this video stuff.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.